Hi everybody, we're going to talk about getting it done or getting things done. And whenever this subject comes up, I always think of a wonderful guy named David Allen and a great book. We're going to give you a couple of books today, homework if you will, called Getting Things Done. He's an expert. He's probably the best author out there on this subject. So one of the things he talks about is efficiency, and efficiency is simply doing things right. Effectiveness is doing the right things. And strategy is picking the right jungle, picking the right things to do. Okay? I'll give you an example. You can very efficiently you can become the king or queen of working with buyers. Good idea, great idea. Okay? It's an even better idea to become the king or queen of listings. Because listings is the right jungle. Listings is the ultimate jungle in the real estate business. You can make 10 to 15 times more money per hour finding sellers than finding buyers. So you have to have strategies to begin with, and you have to do not only things right, which is very, very important. It's a great way to build referrals. It's a great way to have a great life. But if you do the right things, everything changes. So I want you to become intentional about your time and invest it properly. And this involves a fair amount of self-discipline. It takes a certain amount of courage. It takes a certain amount of vulnerability. If you want a great time management tip, I'll tell you this is one of the really ultimate ones. Have a tough conversation. Example. Don't go home and complain to your spouse about a property that's overpriced and how unreasonable your seller is. Have a tough conversation. Call them up and say, I'd like an opportunity to come over and talk with you a little bit. Sit down with them, be open and honest, have the courage of vulnerability. Say, you know, I was really reluctant to have this conversation because I was afraid I'd get sideways with you a little bit, but I need to tell you that I'm not feeling our price right now. We're not getting the showings we need, or there's three kinds of houses out there. If they're not being shown at all, that means they're getting knocked off the list in the computer. If they're getting the normal amount of showings but no offers, that means you're a little bit overpriced. We need to make some kind of a price adjustment in order to get the results that you're looking for. You didn't hire me to tell you why your home didn't sell. You hired me to get it sold for you, and I think we need a price adjustment. Once in a great while, that conversation might get a little testy. You'd be surprised if you have the courage to have it, how seldom that really is, especially when you have the facts in front of you. So have tough conversations. Remember that self-discipline is the most important thing. You have to have the courage to be uncomfortable sometimes. So the important is seldom urgent, the urgent is seldom important. Second book recommendation, First Things First. That is a guy named Stephen Covey. I was blessed and fortunate in my life to have spent a day with him. He's considered probably the second most important person in the time management field. First Things First, Stephen Covey. So I always tell people, my two biggest enemies are what I feel like doing and what I think is a good idea in the moment. Because both of those things are usually not a good idea, okay? So you have to have enough self-discipline to get in place some habits that really work for you. So let's talk about some of the fundamentals. List some goals. Goals are a roadmap. You know, they're the most important thing you can do. If you don't know where you're going, you can't get there. So you got to make a list of some things that you do. Make a list of the A things that you're going to do today and not the C's. That price reduction conversation might be the most important thing you can do today. Start with the best use of your time right now. If you have an overpriced listing, sitting down with that seller and getting a price reduction, I'll guarantee you, is the single most important thing you can do today. So have the courage and the vulnerability to call that person up and tell them you'd like to chat. I'll give you another one. Handle every piece of paper only once. A piece of paper should go either in the trash or in the file. But if you live in a chaotic world where you look around your office or your workspace and there's stuff everywhere. And that everywhere place might be your computer, okay? So take a little time to get organized. Make sure you know where everything is. And handle every piece of paper or every file only once until you need it again, and then make sure that you can find it. So begin by getting organized. Getting It Done is a great book to start with that. If it takes less than 2 minutes, do it right now, okay? Don't cluster up and clutter up your life with all of these little tiny things to do. Here's another important, really, really important thing. Only work on one thing at a time, okay? So if you are automatically interrupting yourself with emails, if you've got an email ding or something like that on your computer, turn it off. And the other thing I can tell you is, don't worry about what other people are doing. It's none of your business. Okay? And it's not going to take you where you want to go. It's not going to take you where you want to go with your own stuff. So if you take a look and you say, this guy is selling twice as many houses as I am, or this person's not doing very well, there's no upside to doing any of that, unless, of course, you're talking to the guy who's selling twice as many houses and he or she is willing to help you do that. That's fine. But learn not to waste other people's time telling war stories and stuff like that. Here's a good way to judge how you use your time. If it doesn't involve your family, it doesn't involve fun, or it doesn't involve your money, it's probably a waste of your time, okay? So get focused on what matters to you. What mattered to me was taking care of the people that I love, having some fun in life, okay? And taking care of finances, because finances and intentional frugality and some other habits in that area can help you change your life as well.